Luxury Auto One welcomes you back to another explosive story from the world of live television and celebrity drama. Today's headline moment comes from one of America's most respected morning shows, Good Morning America, where an interview with Prince Harry took a shocking turn. Host George Stephanopoulos, known for his sharp questions and calm but firm demeanor, found himself in a heated clash with the Duke of Sussex. What started as a routine conversation quickly turned into an intense confrontation that left viewers stunned, producers scrambling, and Prince Harry walking away humiliated. This is the story of how George Stephanopoulos destroyed Prince Harry live on air during a Good Morning America interview that nobody will ever forget. The interview had been promoted heavily by ABC in the days leading up to it. The promise was a candid sit-down with Prince Harry, where he would talk about his memoir, his life in California with Meghan Markle, and his new ventures in philanthropy. Audiences expected openness, some vulnerability, and maybe even a glimpse into his strained relationship with the royal family. George Stephanopoulos was chosen as the interviewer because of his reputation, measured, experienced, and not afraid to ask the tough questions. When the day arrived, Prince Harry walked into the studio dressed sharply in a navy suit, looking serious but trying to project confidence. George greeted him warmly in front of the cameras, and the audience watching at home was ready for a revealing and engaging conversation. At first, everything seemed normal. Harry spoke about his projects, his children, and the importance of mental health awareness. He talked about adjusting to life outside the royal family and building a new identity away from Buckingham Palace. But then George pivoted. Instead of staying with soft, sympathetic questions, he began to dig deeper. He asked about Harry's accusations against the royal family, particularly in his book and televised interviews. He questioned whether Harry was being fair in painting such a negative picture of his relatives while at the same time insisting that he wanted reconciliation. Harry hesitated, then repeated what he had said many times before, that he was simply telling his truth. George pressed harder. "But, Harry," he said in his calm, cutting tone, "your truth has consequences. Every time you criticize your family publicly, you damage relationships even further. How do you expect reconciliation if you keep airing grievances on television?" The atmosphere shifted. Harry's smile faded. He leaned forward, his voice tightening, and replied, "Because no one in my family was listening when I tried privately. The only way to make change was to speak out." George didn't let him off the hook. "But by doing so," he countered, "aren't you doing the very thing you say the media did to you, exposing private matters for the public to consume?" The audience watching at home could sense the tension building. Harry bristled at the suggestion. His tone grew sharper. "There's a difference between telling my story and the tabloid lies. I had to defend myself and my wife from constant attacks." George nodded but then delivered a pointed blow. "But Harry, some say you've gone from being hounded by the press to actively seeking the spotlight. You've had a Netflix series, a memoir, multiple interviews. At what point is it no longer about defending yourself, but about profiting from your story?" That question visibly shook Harry. He stammered slightly, searching for words, before responding, "I don't do this for profit. I do this for change. I do this so my children can grow up free from the same toxicity I experienced." George paused, then leaned in with another tough line. "But Harry, isn't it true that while asking for privacy, you've also chosen to share more than almost any other member of the royal family in history? Isn't there a contradiction there?" The clash escalated quickly. Harry grew defensive, his body language showing frustration. He accused George of framing him unfairly, of parroting tabloid narratives. George, calm but firm, said he was only asking the questions millions of viewers wanted answers to. The back and forth became sharper, with Harry insisting that he had every right to tell his story, and George pointing out that telling his story meant dragging others into it whether they liked it or not. The turning point came when George quoted a passage from Harry's memoir about his father, King Charles. He asked bluntly, "Do you regret including details that made your father look weak, wounded, or emotionally distant? Was that necessary, or was it simply hurtful?" Harry's face tightened. He shot back, I don't regret telling the truth. My father knows exactly why I wrote what I did. If it hurts, maybe it's because it's real." George responded with a devastating line. "Or maybe, Harry, it hurts because some truths should remain private. Maybe you've confused honesty with betrayal." The studio fell silent. Harry's expression showed both anger and disbelief. He accused George of siding with the institution, of protecting the monarchy instead of recognizing his pain. George, still calm, replied, "No, Harry, I'm protecting the principle that for Melissa Royal or no to deserve a chance to heal without every wound being broadcast to the world." At that moment, Harry visibly snapped. He removed his earpiece, his frustration boiling over, and said, "If you're just here to lecture me, then this is